Hey there, this is Rachel Frey. Welcome to this second part of addressing hunger in our Adventure Quest series. So last time I talked about structured eating and how the brain works in order to show you that actually you're not broken. Your brain is amazing. Your brain works so well. It's like a super warrior. It's really so well made, and there's nothing to fix about you. It's just a matter of working with your brain instead of working instead of it or against it. So if you started to implement structured eating, it still might not be, the thing for you. You might still be experiencing cravings and you don't understand why you just can't stop eating, despite having implemented this system of regular meals at regular intervals. So let me tell you what happened for me, because I discovered structured eating and all these things about my brain, and I was like, yes, I got it. And actually, no, I didn't. It didn't work that well for me. So it took me a bit more of research to really understand what was going on under and the background. And that's what I want to share with you today. So now you've understood that your brain is amazing and that it's your reptilian brain trying to keep you safe that is sending these signals, so strong signals. So you have this impulse to go and grab some food and eat, and you can't stop. But the next stage is that once you've understood this, you can actually differentiate yourself from the impulse you received. Now you know that when you got these impulse to go to the fridge, or you're working at your computer and you just have this impulse to stand up and go and grab something to eat, and then you can't stop eating. It's an impulse you receive, but you don't have to act on it, because the step of acting is a conscious one. The first one, the impulse, is your reptilian brain, so it can be like on autopilot. It's just the survival mode. But the action, actually, you have control over it. Whether you're going to act upon it or just say like, oh, okay, I got this impulse again, but I don't want to act. Because I know I've been eating on regular intervals. I know my body got enough food, so I don't need to act. I don't need to get food now, because otherwise I'm going to die. And it's something else I will share in another video about the power of your thought and how you can change the whole story around your eating disorder issue. But today let's stick to this particular thing about hunger and how to deal with it. So now you've understood this, so it's up to you to decide, okay, I stand up or I stay there and I wait, or I stop eating because I've eaten all the plate I had planned for this set meal. I don't need to eat right now more to stay alive. So as it's not so easy at first, because you're so used to just act when you receive this impulse, I want to share with you an exercise that works very, very well for me anytime I experience these kind of cravings. Because it might be that you're really suffering from real hunger, and I will tell you why, or it might be something else, and it's just the coping mode that your brain is so trained to that it will just act like, okay, when I encountered this issue, I go and eat. And as I explain in my book, if it's another issue than real hunger, real food you need, if you stand up and eat when you feel sad or when you feel overjoyous or whatever other feeling you're experiencing, it's not going to help you with that issue. You're just going to eat, and then maybe you have to purge or to exercise or whatever. So you're just adding another issue to the current one, which is dealing with that feeling. So it's separate things. So now the exercise I want to share with you today is about recognizing or identifying whether it's real hunger or another type of hunger. For that, you have to dig deep within and to have a conversation with yourself and what I call your hungry self. You can do that exercise anytime. It's better if you're alone and you can sit in a quiet place, or you can do it when you're walking outdoor, or you stand somewhere peaceful and quiet outdoor. But with a bit of practice, you can do it anytime, anywhere, and it's pretty quick. Okay, so you're experiencing this huge craving and hunger, and you're like, oh my God, I'm still hungry. I don't know. I don't understand why. So just decide, okay, now just stop for a second. I breathe. I know I've had enough food. I'm going to figure out what's going on. And then tell to yourself, or to your hungry self, you can picture it as an individual you're talking to, or someone inside you, as you want. And you say to that hungry self, okay, now I'm going to let you talk. Tell me what's going on. Just calm down. I'm going to listen to you, and really talk as if it was a hungry child, or someone who needs to be heard and listened to with a bit more attention. And then ask your hungry self these basic questions. The question will follow, but just one more thing before that. Don't try to over understood or over explain or over figure out the answer you get. Just ask the question, and the first answer you get, just take it as it is. Don't try to overthink them. Let me show you why. So the first question is, are you hungry for real food? Yes or no? And just take the answer and maybe jot it down. And if it's a yes, ask, what kind of food do you need? And just again write down, what kind of food do you need? Have you been limited in some areas or in some kind of food lately? And ask yourself the question and just write down, yes, no. Just be very honest with you. It's just between you and yourself, so just be very honest. And then just put that to the side. And then if it's something like, no, it's not real hunger, it's something else, then identify and ask again your inner being, or your hungry self, what are you craving for? And just let the answer come in. You will know it. It can come under different forms, like images or words or ideas, or you might think of a situation or of a person in particular. So just be like, okay, so if it's not real hunger, what is it? What do you want to tell me? And talk to your hunger and really question it, or talk to your body. What are you trying to tell me? What do you need? And again, just write what's coming up. And if you don't have anything to write, talk in your phone, or just do the whole process and then jot down what ideas you've received. Don't over question it, just take them. And if it's something else than real hunger, just write down or just be aware of it, and it might be enough, because what your hunger or your hungry self needs is just that you listen to it, that you are aware of something. It might be a feeling that you just had, or an emotion that you've not been able to process, or it might be that you're craving sleep, or I don't know, you're love deprived or whatever, or you feel like you've been misunderstood in something, or you've been frustrated in this situation. Anything. It can be very minor things, so don't disregard whatever comes to you. Just write it down. And you see, maybe just being aware of what your inner being, what your inner self wanted to tell you, is going to be enough to calm down the hunger, if it's not real food hunger. Now, on the other hand, if it's real food hunger, you need to address it, because otherwise it's going to come on again and again and again. And that's the little twist I wanted to share with you, that I mentioned in the previous video, is that often, and too often, the answer is real hunger. And let me tell you why. Because that's what happened to me. I was doing structured eating, but yet in my mind I was doing it in a controlled way. It means I was planning my meals, but then I was like, yeah, but not much more than this about this, or not too much sugar, or not too much of this, or I should not eat too much of that kind of food. So it was structured eating under over control. So in the end, it was the same again. It was giving enough food to my body, but with a fear of eating too much, with from a place of fear. It was not from a place of love for my body. It was and for the food and for myself and for myself. So it was really like keeping still this control over the food, over what I was eating. And then my body was still on my mind. Let's say my brain was still in this lacking mode. I was still limiting in some ways. So just ask this question to yourself. Are you doing structured eating from a place of fear or from a place of love for your body to nourish it so it's going to thrive and be happy, and you as well? Or are you doing it still with control, or are you restricting some foods? Just be very honest with you, be clear, and write all this down. And if you can, try to amend, adapt. Uh, Maybe you have to eat a bit more, increase the food intake or some food quantities in your structured eating plan. So just be very honest, and then you'll see if the cravings decrease or not. But let me tell you, if you're really doing this from a place of love, you're giving your body enough food, they definitely will. So let's talk again in another video, and for now just do that exercise whenever you're experiencing cravings and you want either to lose weight or to feel better or to recover from any eating disorders. Have a bright day and talk later. Bye.